Welcome back to Cosmeholics Anonymous. I am your favorite new mama of two, Bougie Vintage, and today's video is a sewing DIY. First things first, let's get into what you will need for this tutorial. Bandanas, I got 12 on Amazon. I'll link it below. You're going to need this bracelet thing. It screws off. It's like a septum ring, but I got it at Michael's. Scissors, pins, elastic for your waistband. You're going to need zippers. You're going to need an iron. And then now we can get into what we're actually going to be doing, which is lining our fabric because bandanas are very sheer. So to get the shape of my bra, I just used a nursing bra and I traced it, and that's basically how I came up with the pattern for this particular piece. If you didn't watch my mommy and daughter DIY for bathing suits, it's basically the same exact formula. So I just traced what I thought would fit best, and then I'm working with that. So to line this piece, I am using the other half of the bandana that I cut already, and I've pinned the pattern piece onto the bandana, and now I'm just cutting out an exact replica so that I can have two of the same pieces and I can line one behind the other. This is going to make it so that my bandana is opaque and you're not going to see any nipple or whatever it is. If you want it to be sheer, obviously you can do that, and if you're using a different color bandana, you may not need to do this step. So because it's pink, it was a little see-through, so I decided to line it. So of course you want to grab your pins and you want to pin the two pieces together before you start to stitch them, and you're just going to stitch them together with a straight stitch all around the perimeter of the fabric.
I'm a bit too much, but I'm finding it. When I'm at the top, I just wanna play. If you are looking for one hell of a ride, just come and get it. Baby, I'm all yours. Come and get it, 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 come and get it. If you are looking for one hell of a ride, just come and get it. Baby, I'm all yours.
So once that's together, I am going to cut right up the center of the bra because we need it to be in two separate pieces.
I've been working overtime like crazy.
Now for step 2, we're going to clean up the edges. You're going to fold in all of the raw edges and sew them down to make a clean finish. For this, I've chosen a zigzag stitch. You can do whatever stitch you choose. I personally like the zigzag stitch because it just looks really cute. This brings us to step 3, where we're going to create a pocket for our septum clasp. So remember how we cut the bra in half? You want to turn it on the wrong side and fold that center piece inward, pin it, and then do one straight stitch up the center of it just to create a pocket for the septum to go into.
Just wanna take another look at you so our eyes can finally meet.
Step 4, let's create the back of the top. You might want to whip your ruler out because you need to have your pieces being the exact same length. So I measured the side seam of the bra and it was about 4 inches. This means that the back of the top needs to be 4 inches in width as well, but of course you need to leave some extra there for seam allowance as well as hem allowance. I folded the bandana on the wrong side because I am going to be using a pen to mark where I need to mark. So basically I'm measuring out 4 inches and then I'm giving myself like 5/8 of an inch so that I can add a hem. I've also folded the bandana in half so that I only have to stitch one side of it. I don't need to stitch the 2 endings of the fabric, and I also don't need to stitch the top because it's already folded down and it creates a nice finish for me.
Want your kisses in the morning light. Wanna be next to you every night. No, I shouldn't love you, but I might. 'Cause your lips, they taste like cherry wine. You're no good for me. We're so bittersweet, but I still want you. I do. Baby, can't you see what you do to me? I just can't resist you. You got me drunk in love, I can't sleep. I need to sober up.
So now we're at step 5 and we're going to attach the back to both of the front pieces at the side seams.
I can't deny, I can't deny you. Stay with me until tomorrow. Could you be the one to kill my sorrows?
The bra is almost done, so at this point you can insert the septum or you can wait to insert the septum at the very end.
You're no good for me. We're so bittersweet, but I still want you. I do.
Just a side note, you can put it in upside down or you can put it in right side up. Because you're working with bandana, if you don't cut it on the bias, it is not going to have any stretch at all. You need to add elastic to the back of the shirt. So I went out and got a 4-inch elastic. It's actually smaller than 4 inches, but I'm going to cut the bandana right up the center of the back of the top, and I'm going to add it in between that area that I'm cutting out. So now I'm going to create and attach some straps. If you do not have big breasts, you probably don't need straps, but I wanted to add straps, so this is what we're gonna do. I cut the end of a bandana off, so there's no print on this part. It's literally the outside skirt of the bandana, and I'm going to fold that piece onto itself and do a flat stitch or a running stitch just to secure the 2 pieces into place. Obviously at this step you're going to want to pin and iron.
Drunk in love, I can't sleep. I need to sober up from this dream, but I can't deny, I can't deny you. I can't deny, I can't deny you.
Now we can move on to step 9, which is the skirt. Much like the top, it needs to be lined, so I'm taking 2 bandanas and attaching them so that I can make it opaque, and then I'm going to attach 3 bandanas side to side. So in total I'm using 6 bandanas for the skirt.
I'm drowning. I'm falling.
Once you've attached all 3 bandanas, you can then go ahead and place and stitch your zippers onto the skirt. So the zippers are not going all the way up to the waist. You're going to attach your zippers wherever you please. Obviously, we put the skirt on me and then decided where we would put the zippers, and I wanted them right in the center of my thighs, and so that's where we're placing them. So once your zippers are sewn on, you can go ahead, flip the skirt over and cut right up the center of the back of the zipper so that you can release the fabric. At this point, you can create a pocket for your waistband to go into. This step is pretty straightforward. All you're going to do is create a 1-inch pocket. If you have a 1-inch elastic, you're going to pin it and then stitch it, and I stitched mine without the elastic in there. I only put it in there to show you how to do it. Insert your elastic by using a large safety pin and attaching it to the elastic and threading it all the way through to the other side. So your last and final step is to stitch the back side of your skirt closed, and you will be finished. If you did everything right, then by the end, you should have something that looks like this.
It's Nene Glam, might take you man, so girl, you better relax. Pretty face might catch a case, you can't tell me that it ain't facts. You can't tell me that it ain't facts. You can't tell me that it ain't facts. Run it up, run it up, run it up. That's right, I'm running with a bag. If you ain't on the same side as me, that means